Welcome, my children, to Beauties and Beasts, the podcast for all things beautiful and beastly. Hello, everyone. GF here. It's that time of year again, Halloween. Sadly, the costume parties and trick-or-treating are a bust this year, but hey, at least everyone's wearing a mask. If you don't have a Halloween-themed face mask, then you gotta check out my Redbubble shop. I've got at least 5 designs available, along with over 60 other products, such as t-shirts, bags, buttons, everything you need to celebrate the Halloween season while staying at home. Just go to my Redbubble link at disneyfanatic23.redbubble.com. That's disneyfanatic23.redbubble.com. All right, everyone. Today's Halloween special was voted on by our $3 plus patrons. Because we love our classic movie monsters, we will be taking a look at Sony Pictures animated film Hotel Transylvania, in which Count Dracula runs a hotel where monsters can hide from the vicious humans out to get them. But everything goes downhill when Dracula's daughter falls in love with a human. So this movie has spawned 2 sequels, which I will talk about briefly, as well as a spin-off series, which I won't be talking about as it is not that good and really doesn't add much to the franchise. Sorry. The first movie features a Beauty and the Beast relationship between a human and a vampire. But unlike most vampire ships, the vampire is a girl. And the vampire isn't as creepy and possessive. Yeah, take that, Twilight. But actually, the core relationship in this movie isn't so much the romantic pairing, but it is between the human and his future father-in-law. Spoilers. Alright, so before we get into this, I would like to thank, as always, my $5 plus patrons, Anime Guy 1101, Arvin Joshua Rocks 15, Bella PinkSavage, and TyrannosaurusVenom, and our newest Phantom Lover patron who just pledged about an hour ago, so really new, Cosmic Trail. And by the way, I'm so glad that you managed to enter the chat here and you followed the link just fine, because I had to send it on such short notice. Yeah, but thank you for pledging, and I'm glad you could be with us here today, and thank you for your support. You too can become a patron now and support this podcast by just clicking that Become a Patron button or follow the link to patron.podbean.com/beautiesandbeasts. That's patron.podbean.com/beautiesandbeasts. I have lots of Halloween videos on YouTube in the works that will be shared early with $7 plus patrons, including song covers and animated music videos, and a lip sync collab video, possibly, if I can get enough people to join that one. But yep, if you are a $7 plus patron, you will be receiving the links to these videos early in your Gmail. So new patrons, keep an eye on your Gmail or whatever email that you used when linking your Podbean account. You can also support my channel by buying my merchandise on Redbubble, including face masks. Please make sure you're wearing face masks when you go outside. We want to get through this pandemic as soon as possible. And let's not delay it anymore, okay? So, our story starts off with Count Dracula, but instead of being the murderous villain we all know and fear, he's in reality just a loving single father trying to raise his daughter Mavis and keep her safe from the humans, because vampires can apparently reproduce in this universe. So he builds a hotel secluded in the mountains of Transylvania to protect her and all monsters who need a place to hide and be themselves. You know, fun fact, I lived in Romania for 4 years, and as we were on a road trip through Transylvania, we passed by an actual Hotel Transylvania. It wasn't a castle though, more like a roadside bed and breakfast. Still, we came across this the year that the movie came out, so it was a very weird coincidence. So, back to the story. Mavis is about to turn 118, which is like the legal age for monsters. Dracula is holding a big party at the hotel to celebrate, inviting all their monster friends, including Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, Murray the Mummy, and Wayne the Werewolf, and Fran Drescher. Bride of Frankenstein. Sorry, I'm a huge fan of The Nanny. But all Mavis really wants for her birthday is to go out and see the world, because Dad never lets her leave the hotel. Specifically, she wants to go to Hawaii, or Hawiwi as she calls it, where her parents met and fell in love, like zing! And she hopes to meet someone her age that she can relate to, because everybody who comes to the hotel is either older or younger than her. Dracula says that she can go out, but not too far, as she will miss the party if she goes and sees the world now, and tells her of a nearby village that she can visit from time to time. Yeah, Bella PinkSavage in the chat agrees with me. Overprotective dad. What a shocker. I know, he's overprotective, but there's a reason for that. So, Mavis arrives at the human village, and the humans attack her with torches and garlic bread. Actually, fun fact, I was rewatching this last week with my mom, and she made spaghetti and garlic bread, so as soon as we went to that scene, she just looked at her garlic bread and went and go, like, yeah, I'm just gonna put this down right now. So that I didn't plan that. But in reality, these humans are actually the zombie bellboys in disguise, hired by Dracula to scare Mavis into never leaving the hotel. And it works. Yeah, great move, Dad. Parent of the Year award goes to not you. But the fire from the torches attracts a human! Dun dun dun! Yeah, Cosmic Trail says here, what a great father. Yeah, right. And Bella PinkSavage, sarcastic clap. Too bad I don't have a sarcastic clap sound effect here. Anyway, a human has entered the hotel. Yeah, and it's Andy Samberg, as Bella PinkSavage says. An American 21-year-old tourist by the name of Johnny walks into the hotel, and Dracula panics, as the hotel is supposed to be a haven from the humans. And if Mavis sees Johnny, then she will know that the village of humans was all fake. And Dracula can't kill Johnny, as that would set back monsters 100 years. Yeah, that's why. So he dresses Johnny up like a Frankenstein monster to sneak him out. But Johnny realizes that this isn't just a costume convention, and freaks out and ends up bumping into Mavis. Their eyes meet and zing! Monster love at first sight. A bit contrived, but hey, it's a kid's movie, so I'll let it pass. To cover up the invading human, Dracula says that he hired Johnny as a party planner for a fresh perspective on Mavis's party, because Johnny is sort of Mavis's age. Actually, hearing that she's 118 is a shocker to him, but hey, it's legal, monster and human-wise, right? Anyway, Johnny wins everyone over with his rock and roll, wild personality, and stories of traveling around the world. Dracula doesn't like how Johnny keeps spoiling his pre-planned activities like bingo and charades, or how he's hitting it off with Mavis. He tries to hypnotize Johnny into leaving the hotel. Wait, why didn't you do that in the first place? But is prevented by his disgusting contact lenses. Yuck, this is why I only wear glasses. Mavis and Johnny have a moment on the roof, and she marvels on how he's been everywhere while she's been nowhere. And Johnny says that, you should live life to the fullest. You're only young once. And then sunrise comes, and Johnny helps Mavis watch it without her getting burnt. In a scientifically impossible way, but yeah, still sweet moment. Dracula is still angry that Johnny won't leave the hotel, so he puts him to work with organizing the tables, which leads to a floating table fight, and the two of them bonding over it. And now Dracula gets a taste of letting go of his controlling tendencies and just having fun. After rescuing Johnny from the chef Quasimodo, who is apparently a cannibal in here. Oh boy, okay, they totally got that monster wrong. He's not technically a monster, he's just a deformed human. Johnny sees the painting of Dracula's wife, Martha, and says that he had seen it in Castle Lubov, and that there's a legend behind it, of the Lady Lubov, who fell in love with a count, and they had a child, but they perished in a mysterious fire, and then Dracula says that the legend was wrong. It was just the wife who died, and that she was murdered by the humans. And that's why Dracula built this place, to protect Mavis. Yep, Oof, my heart. You sum it up perfectly, Bella PinkSavage. Yeah, and Cosmic Trail says, that's so sad. It is really sad. That explains all his controlling tendencies and overprotectiveness. Dracula confesses that Mavis has feelings for Johnny, but if she knew what he was, it would hurt her. Johnny insists that the world has changed, but Dracula asks, if we come out of hiding, can you promise everyone will accept us? Everyone? And of course, everyone here knows the answer to that, given how the world is. So Johnny agrees to leave the hotel after the party, so he wouldn't ruin Mavis's special day. So, Mavis's birthday is in full swing and everyone's having a good time until Mavis makes a move and kisses Johnny. Oh man, this girl doesn't waste any time. Dracula catches them, feeling betrayed, and Mavis insists that she's willing to give the human village another chance, and Dracula ends up spilling the beans on faking the whole thing. Quasimodo then exposes Johnny's identity, and all the monsters freak out. But Mavis still wants to be with Johnny, human or monster. Johnny is happy about this, but then he sees the hurt in Dracula's eyes, and so tells Mavis that he hates monsters and doesn't want to be with her, and so he leaves. Yeah, Bella PinkSavage, oh my heart. I have no aw sound in here, so I'm just gonna have to do this. Close enough. Podbean said they will be adding more sound effects. I hope they have something that fits this situation. Dracula finds Mavis later on the roof in tears. She asks him to erase her mind, but he cannot do that, as there's too much he wants her to remember. You'll see he does care, even if he's a bit overprotective. Mavis shows him the birthday present from Mom that she wasn't supposed to open until she turned 118. A book telling the story of how her parents had met, they zinged, and that Mavis's zing will come one day. Mavis thought that she and Johnny had zinged. And realizing that he got in the way of his daughter's happiness, Dracula rallies his friends to go after Johnny. And they agree because they come to like Johnny, and they believe in true love. Yeah, monsters believe in true love. But the sun is rising, so Dracula is at a great risk. But he goes on anyway. As they drive through a village, which looks a lot like the village of Cebu. I really commend the animator's detail on this. They find a monster festival going on. Everyone dressed up like them. It turns out the humans love them. No, because monsters are cool. Who doesn't love a good monster film? So, the humans help clear the way to the airport, the Dracula cosplayers holding their capes out to shield the real Dracula from the sun. Dracula makes it to the plane, uses his bat and hypnotic powers to hijack it, brings Johnny back, tells Mavis she's free to do whatever she likes. Johnny and Mavis kiss and party out, and Dracula apparently can rap. Yeah, this movie is meant to be silly, but honestly, it's one of Sony Picture Animation's best, in my opinion. Oh yeah, so many yas and oh my freaking hearts in the chat right now. Yeah, it is a sweet movie, heartwarming, has its funny moments. And the themes are pretty heavy when you look at the movie a lot more closely. And consistently carried over in the two sequels. When Mavis and Johnny get married, have a baby, and then Dracula falls in love for a second time. Also with a human, ironically, though not as cute a ship as Mavis and Johnny. Sorry. Such of these themes include racism, grief, but most significantly, dealing with change. Mavis and Johnny are the main couple in the first movie, but the protagonist is actually Dracula, who serves more as the beastly father figure. He's a control freak and possessive of his daughter, but not without reason. Because he couldn't protect his wife, he goes overboard in protecting his daughter and controlling everything else around him. Because, he couldn't control the human mob from murdering his wife. And the fact that humans were responsible for his wife's death makes his initial distrust of Johnny understandable, psychologically speaking. The movie also depicts generation gaps and how we can bridge them. You know how it is. The older generation, that being Dracula, wanting to hold on to the past and resist any sort of change, however small. The newer generation embracing change, that being Johnny. But while Johnny is a pretty modern guy, always willing to try new things, he actually appreciates history in all his travels. So embracing change doesn't mean erasing the past entirely. This is expanded upon in the second movie when baby Dennis arrives, and we can see that Drax, Mel Brooks' dad, is even more traditionalist. Mavis tries to raise Dennis as if he were human, because at first he doesn't show many vampire abilities. But Dracula doesn't want his grandson to be unaware of his vampire heritage, and freaks out when Mavis considers moving to California. Even Johnny is against the idea of moving, as he loves the roots that they've planted in the hotel. Yeah, so Mr. Go Around the World, never stay in one place for one time, actually became a family man. So Dennis, the half vampire, half human, represents the struggle that multiracial or multicultural kids have with their identity. Is he a human or a vampire? The answer is he's a little bit of both, and Dracula has to learn to accept his grandson as he is, the human half and the vampire half. Even if he's not entirely a vampire, he's still his grandson, and he shouldn't have to define everything. Oh, and Cosmic Trail pretty much sums it up. Johnny and Dennis have to stay up like almost 24 hours. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Almost 24 hours, because Dennis has to go to school in the day, but of course his mom and grandfather are up at night. Oh yeah, and PinkSavage. Can we all agree Dennis is absolutely adorable? Yes, I will agree. Although he doesn't get much in the sequels, he is adorable. And also his little side relationship with Winnie the werewolf is absolutely cute. I kind of want to see where that goes. I mean, they're just like 5 years old, so it can only go so far now, but I think it's absolutely cute. The little, puppy love. Yeah, that was a really lame pun. Yeah, PinkSavage says, it's wholesome, but boo to that. Yeah, okay, you guys are saying boo to that pun. But it is, it's puppy love. Okay. So, to bridge the generation gap, we need to learn to try new things and appreciate the past, but also not hang on to stuff like prejudices that have no place in the world anymore. I will say I like how the second movie shows some of the ridiculousness and hardships that interracial couples will go through, like when the human mother-in-law pretends to be woke by introducing Mavis and Johnny to other monster-human couples, some of them actually not monster-human couples, and decorates Mavis's room like a grave. Yeah, this is what we call benevolent racism, pretty much acting like you're being accepting when you're really condescending and belittling and ignorant. Yeah, you can be racist without being inherently hateful. Yeah. But I like how they pointed that out, because even in the modern times, interracial, interfaith, international couples, they will face struggles like this. And the third movie also has the theme of letting go of the past and embracing the future, though this movie's not as good as the other ones. I'm sorry. By this time, Dracula is ready to move on from Martha and meet someone new, but this time, the roles are reversed, and Mavis is the one who won't let go of the past and tries to sabotage her dad's growing relationship with the human Erica. Van Helsing, by the way, great-granddaughter of the monster hunter. She is also caught up in the past and with traditions, but in getting to know Dracula, learns that monsters aren't so bad. Okay, but I can't get behind this couple as much as Mavis and Johnny. But at least it's not Dracula and Mina Harker. Now, this ain't Bram Stoker's Dracula, thank goodness. As much as I love that Dracula, this is a totally different universe. Okay, PinkSavage just said twice, how dare you, XD. Okay, just boo to me. Well, that's just my opinion. I didn't enjoy the third one as much. Overall, the franchise is cute and has a strong message, finding the balance between keeping traditions alive and adapting to an ever-changing world. Especially now when the world is in a crisis that we can't control, and people are lashing out as a result from all the stress and hardships. We can't control the coronavirus as much as we'd like to, but we can control how we treat each other. Segregation is a thing of the past, but people still hold on to those ideals, which is very sad. And the whole thing of Confederate Civil War statues being torn down, yes, I know, preserving history is important, but there are some things about the past we shouldn't honor or be proud of. Like, I'm not proud of the ancestors who were slave owners, but I'm more proud of the ancestors, the other ones, who fought for their own rights, from their own religious freedom to voting, in my grandma's case, to become an economics professor despite her gender and disability. Those are things of the past we should honor and inspire us to pioneer the future. If we can all learn to understand each other and appreciate each other's differences and cultures, we can make this world a better place to live in and make it through hardships like this pandemic together. Especially if people stop being stupid and wear a freaking mask. Seriously, wear a mask. It'll make this pandemic go away faster. It's not that hard. Alright, so that is everything on my notes. If you people in the chat have anything you want to ask or say, Cosmic Trail adding to, people, we need to wear a mask. I mean, it's not a thing about constitutional rights. It's a safety issue. It's like seat belts or being a certain height to ride the roller coaster. It's not people trying to restrict your freedoms. It's so you don't die. Why don't people get that? Anyway, if anyone has any questions or comments that they'd like to add relating to the topic or the podcast in general, now is the time, patrons. And remember, if you want to join these private live streams, just pledge and become a patron now. Minimum is $10. Otherwise, the recordings will be available for $5 plus patrons before the official release date on Thursday. Bella PinkSavage says, wear a mask and stop triggering DF. Oh yeah, and Cosmic Trail says, what's sad is that Mavis will outlive Johnny one day. Yeah, they don't really address that in the film, but if you think about it, being slightly immortal and being mortal, it apparently doesn't matter in that universe, as, Dracula and Martha were supposed to live for hundreds of years, but Martha ended up being taken early anyway. So the fact is that there's no guarantee that you're going to live with your partner for the rest of your life. Your partner can leave at any time. Heck, even Mavis, who knows, could suffer from the sun or be stabbed through the heart with a wooden stake before Johnny even dies. That's just a fact. You never know how much time you're going to have with your partner, but that doesn't mean all the time you do spend with them isn't worth it. So you thought Fluttercord was weird? Well, no one's saying anything really weird about Mavis and Johnny. Is it because Mavis looks human? Yeah. Just saying, as long as you're both legal, age shouldn't matter. Alright, okay, I got some more questions here. It's going fast, too fast for me to catch up. And Cosmic Trail adds, who knows if that's the same with Dennis? Who really knows? I wish people would explore them more with the half vampire, half human thing. I know they did it in Twilight, and they made it kind of weird. But I wish people would kind of explore that a bit more. Alright, Bella PinkSavage says, a lot of comedians like Adam Sandler, Kevin James, David Spade, Steve Buscemi, and a lot other casted, and they all did great. Especially David Spade. I don't think he voiced anything else besides Griffin and Cusco in Emperor's New Groove. Yeah, a really big voice cast. My dad was coming in while we were listening to this. He's like, I know a lot of these voices. Really, really big cast. I love Selena Gomez. I love Steve Buscemi. And so on and so forth. I just love all the work they do, and they definitely made it really enjoyable. I mean, yeah, it was a fun movie, and ended up having a bit of a deeper theme, and that's kind of what kids' movies should be. They should be fun, but there should also be a bit of something else behind it, something to teach the kids, and some maturity for the adults to enjoy. Oh yeah, Bella PinkSavage. Me and Mom just fangirled the whole time. LOL. Yeah. Yeah. It was a really good cast. Okay, so anything else on the topic or the podcast? And remember, if you're a patron, then you can join these streams and you can have your comments and questions read live. You'll be supporting my podcast and you'll be getting a few perks in return. All right, Cosmic Trail. Selena Gomez was the only actor I recognized, only because of Disney Channel. Yeah, that's true. Selena Gomez, I think, is great in whatever role she does. Even if her character is annoying, she always performs really great. And Bella PinkSavage says, this was fun. Yeah, I am glad we are doing a fun movie now, because the next movie we're going to be covering, it's going to be a bit darker and more serious. Yeah, just remember, guys, you voted on this last month. Well, not you, Cosmic Trail, but everyone who was a patron last month, they voted on the Halloween specials. So, if there are no more questions or comments, I will talk a bit more about the next episode. Everyone good? Oh yeah, Cosmic Trail. This was a fun first episode. Well, I'm glad that the first episode you joined was a fun one. As next time will be our second Halloween special, which serves as an example of what happens when certain changes are actually quite harmful, like invading an ecosystem and threatening an endangered species, all for science. Oh, Bella PinkSavage says, get used to me, Cosmic, I'm a mess. Yeah, Bella PinkSavage is in a lot of these chats. Thank you for your support, guys. Anyway, I am referring to the classic monster movie. I almost said monster movie. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Another one of those monsters carrying off beautiful girls films, which I actually found sadder than King Kong. But it is actually one of my favorite classic horror movies. And yeah, one of those tragedies, and more of a tragedy and less of a horror movie in my opinion. So, Cosmic Trail, hope you can get used to me as well. Yep, I hope so. And remember, guys, this is streamed for $10 plus patrons and released early for $5 plus patrons. Yeah, and Bella PinkSavage will get along great. I hope so. So, until next time, everybody. And remember, change is not necessarily a bad thing. Have fun, even in the most difficult of times. And vampire-human relationships don't have to be creepy. I'm talking to you, Edward Cullen and Bella Swan. Talking to you.